I'm getting really tired of people utilizing, especially white lower support needs autistic women, utilizing the idea of sense of justice and justice sensitivity of autistic people to basically take away their own accountability. So, what I mean by that is that when it comes to this narrative of autistic people having a higher sense of justice sensitivity, a lot of the people that I see tend to utilize this in order to show favorism to autistic people are white, lower support need autistic women. And justice sensitivity or justice in general is a very, very subjective thing. There is no right or truly wrong or right way to do something. And to say that autistic people just understand and have a higher sense of knowing right from wrong is completely inaccurate, since we're also a type of population that tends to fall under our naivety and tend to be highly manipulated because of our taking things more literally, and those who have a higher sense of knowing how to manipulate others, we can fall more victims to. When it comes to justice sensitivity, I honestly think it falls more under just autistic rigidity of routines and rules. When it comes to rules, it's very easy for a lot of autistic people to want to be justically sound or to follow rules because they're clear in most cases and you understand what's happening. As far as unfairness and knowing whether a rule or somebody is being unjustly unfair, that is all based off of logic and personal perceptions and things that are happening around you. But again, it's very subjective to what you think. So, for instance, if we bring in a philosophical or hypothetical scenario where you're working with somebody who's continuously late, it is basically your position to report this person being late. So the more just way to do that, because it is unfair to all your other co-workers that this person is getting as constantly late, and then you have to pick up the slack, whatever things that you're doing at the job. But however, what if this person who's continuously late is late because of their inability to have consistent transportation? What if it's also the reason why they've been coming late is because they're also taking care of a sick family member, and they're the only person who is there to care, and they need the job in order to help care and pay for bills for that person? That is really not a black or white situation where what would be more fair to that person is to not report them. However, if we're really following the rules of your job, you have to report them to the manager. And with this video that I tagged, I don't have any true issue with the OP. I have more of I want to challenge in what she said, where a lot of her followers tend to be neurodivergent, and in the comment that she's answering and replying to, the person is saying that with neurodivergent women, or when it comes to white women tears being utilized in situations, it could be accidental if they're neurodivergent and have more sensitivity, or and because of that sensitivity, what she kind of was talking about was maybe they're less likely to utilize white women tears intentionally, which I think is absolutely inaccurate. From my experience online and being online and talking about autistic people, my autism, and then also trying to advocate more for those outside of lower support needs autistic women, I've had more encounters of villainizing as well as rude and racist comments to me as well as to my best friend Callie online from specifically white autistic women. And they tend to also utilize all these things that can be interpreted as white women tears, and I've also seen white women tears when it comes to their replies and trying to defend themselves, to take away and try to manipulate what's actually being said from myself and from others who are trying to negate their misinformation or what they're talking about when it comes to autism. So I do not think that is an accurate way to talk about neurodivergence, and especially if we're talking about neurodivergent people or neurodivergent women. When it comes to just justice sensitivity, this is a trait that is mostly associated to autistic people. When you say neurodivergent women or people are less likely to have that, we're really talking about autistic people, not neurodivergent as a whole. Because if we're really bringing in that broadened term, then that means people with NPD, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, which are mostly known as people who have a harder time making more sound judgmental decisions, especially if they're in mania or psychosis or in these phases of their mental disorders. That makes it very hard for them to interpret the best and most sound decisions.